Hello and welcome to Chopped Greens. I am a very disgruntled host coming at you live from Red Robin.
Yum.
Actually got me. That was good. And of course I'm sitting across the table today from
Luke Wright,
who got it right this weekend on our fantasy football bet. That's why we're at Red Robin and not, the other Red. I probably might have chosen like Red Lobster maybe. That's pretty good.
No, it's not.
Oh my.
Red Lobster is gross.
Who doesn't love their biscuits?
Okay, but I'm not going to go to a restaurant because they have good biscuits.
That's the only reason to go to a restaurant. And also, Ruby is also sitting in on this episode, but she's going to be mostly enjoying until Give Me Five. So, just as a shout out for everybody, so we know everybody who's here. Well, here we are, end of week 3, going into week 4, and it started out very interesting with the high octane game between the Rams and the 49 and it was.
No, you had it right. Rams and Niners.
Rams and Niners. The way that it's laid out is I'm seeing double of Los Angeles, and so I was like, the Los Angeles 49ers. No. But then as it moved through the week, this was the week where offenses actually broke out.
Bacon cheeseburger.
Yes.
What did you want for your side? Fries, garlic fries, sweet potato fries, side salad, freckled fruit salad, coleslaw, steamed broccoli.
It's a steamed broccoli with butter.
Steamed broccoli with butter, I can have them do that. And if you want something, they're bottomless. Everything that I named, all the sides everybody got, bottomless. So if you want something different after you get the first thing, no problem. Say you want a salad after you eat your broccoli. Perfect. Okay? So we want to do the broccoli with butter?
Yes.
You got it.
This is great.
That's awesome.
This is great advertisement for Red Robin.
That might be the most clutch thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Because I wanted broccoli, but I was like, damn, I got fries.
Well, there we go. Red Robin coming in the clutch, more so than even the Jacksonville Jaguars, who destroyed 44 to, what was it? Wasn't even 10? No,
it's like 47 to 10.
44 to 7. 44 to 7.
With a fake punt while up 37 points.
God bless him. That's only right behind the guy planting the field, planting the flag in the middle of the field after his team won.
Baker Mayfield.
I wanted to say Bubba or Bubba Gum.
You'd have been wrong.
I would have been wrong. I stayed out of that lane.
Don't you disrespect those Sooners.
I stood in my lane. Anyways, okay, so let's go just a quick review on week 3 here. I'm going to go with my most interesting game to watch. Simply, from start to finish, I actually thought it was a pretty tight battle, and of course it determined who's the lone NFC 3-0 team in the NFC. The Lions and Falcons. Now, Luke, this is really just the biggest takeaway since there's such a close proximity to the end. Did you believe that he was in for the touchdown or knee down?
I think he was in. I do. I think he was in, and I saw some replay showed even if he wasn't in,
they didn't have irrefutable evidence.
Not just that, but at the point in which you were saying he was down, there was 11 seconds. Which means that 10-second runoff, they'd still have 1 second. So,
no matter which way you sliced it, and to be fair, it could have been just a bitter Lions fan for that particular week. But no matter how you sliced it for this one, I either thought it was a touchdown, like you said, the time had not run out. There was just really a lot, and even if you want to get technical to where they were trying to determine whether or not it was a touchdown, my understanding of the rules is that it has to be irrefutable evidence to overturn a touchdown, and I didn't see anything that clearly showed that, like normally you can see, yes, his foot's out of the lines, whatever. There was nothing that was clear cut and dry. Most of the angles were blurred, besides the one that everybody points to, and as you mentioned earlier, it's at 11 seconds if they want to debate that. But it was a good game. It was a lot closer than I think most people thought. I think everybody is giving the Falcons a lot more credit and the Lions a bit of discredit.
People are sleeping on Lions, man.
I know. This week, this upcoming week, they're going to have a tough matchup. We'll talk about that later. But very un-Lionsy loss. Normally they'll just come and poop the bed on these kinds of games, but they really showed that they had heart, no pun intended. But they really matched outfits with the Falcons, who many deemed to be the class of the NFC at this moment.
No, their outfits were in fact different colors. The Falcons were red and the Lions were blue.
Actually, they were white-blue.
Well, that's still not the same.
Regardless. And Matt Ryan, I find him to still be just a like a tick above average quarterback.
What?
I don't know. Maybe it's I am so disenfranchised with the Falcons ever since those years where they would be one and done in the playoffs. Even last year, I thought I was going to be proven wrong, and then I wasn't.
They still made it to the Super Bowl.
Still made it, but to lose in that way, that is the most cursed thing you can inflict upon yourself. Probably. So, your most interesting game in review, Luke Wright?
For me, it went with the, and it's funny because everyone I think had this end result, but I'm going with Houston and New England.
Yes.
And I think it was a very interesting thing to watch because how do you really judge it? Because
Thank you.
Because Houston still lost like everyone thought that they would, but they only lost by 3 points at the very, very closing seconds of that game. It took Tom Brady to have 5 touchdowns. Shout out to Tom Brady. He helped carry that fantasy team.
Yes, he did.
But again, what is the signal for the Patriots going forward if a rookie quarterback can come into New England and put up 33 on you?
Well, is that bad Patriots defense, or is that just good Deshaun? Because every game he started thus far, and every moment that we've seen him, I just see him get better and better and better and better. I have yet to see him revert to the rook. You know, Deshaun Kaiser, we've seen flashes of brilliance. We've seen moments of stupidity. I'm trying to think of the other rookie passers who are out right now. Trubisky hasn't even seen the film. But as far as that rookie wall, for me, Deshaun Watson we're seeing him on the field improve game by game by game, and to do this on against such a touted opponent, I don't see this as a Houston loss. If ever there was a mental win, I think Houston has proven this is. I think that they're 1-2 now. Is that correct?
Yes, they are 1-2.
I would probably easily put them as the best 1-2 team as of right now.
I understand what you're saying, but if we look at Deshaun Watson, he had a pretty good day, especially considering he's a rookie going up against Bill Belichick and New England.
With one of the shakiest functioning offensive lines in the league right now, sans the Giants.
But here's how that scoring breakdown worked. Field goal. Touchdown by Deshaun Watson. Field goal, defensive touchdown.
All right, here's our raspberry cream.
Thank you.
I'm like, don't go to the computer.
No.
I'll get you some more water. Anything else that we need right now?
No.
I think we're good.
Ready?
Thanks.
Another Deshaun Watson touchdown, and then 2 more field goals. Deshaun Watson only accounted, and that offense as a whole only accounted for 2 touchdowns. Everything else was defense and the kicker.
But just because you directly correlate it to that one, it's kind of like the assist in basketball. It's not you. There are points that you're accounted for that just because you're not the one directly doing it does not mean that your team would have had that effect without you. It's because they're accounting for Deshaun and the effect that he's having outside of the defensive touchdown. Thank you very much. But besides the defensive touchdown, I would say that it was his presence and his unflappableness, because I missed the stat, but I know Bill Belichick against rookie quarterbacks.
I think he's
demonstrative.
I think he's undefeated. Maybe 1 loss, but it's not even. But what I want to know is how bad is that Patriots defense? Because if they gave up that many points to a rookie at home, I'd love to see what a Tom Brady, or not Tom Brady. I'd love to see what he could do against his own team, but what an Aaron Rodgers or one of the other elite quarterbacks in this league could do against it. If this defense doesn't get better, this Patriots team is not winning the Super Bowl. This Patriots team might not even make it to the Super Bowl like everyone thought, if that defense can't get better. So to me, that was why this game was probably one of the most intriguing games to watch, even if the end result was what everyone thought it would be.
Yeah, I think they're more, with Tom Brady at the helm, they're more Raiders than they are well-balanced like the Chiefs. Like you said, when they face an elite quarterback, which they will, it'll be fascinating to see what pieces are there, how well the Bill Belichick effect will help them wade through those playoff woes that are bound to happen. But moving forward to week 4, so let's go to the most interesting game of the week. So my most interesting game of the week, I'm going to give that one up to Philadelphia and Los Angeles Chargers. I feel like this should be tattooed on the Chargers, just underneath the little lightning bolt. It should be like a little, like, the best losing team of all time. This past season and this season,
Best losing team of all time.
they're like the best 0-3 team ever. Like, they keep giving, unfortunately, they're forced to play in that AFC West. If they were in, I don't know, the NFC South or just some other AFC South even, I feel like they'd be at the top of their division, and they're a really talented unit, and they'll give every opponent on their schedule fits. It's unfortunate that Phillip Rivers is going to get blamed for this last loss, which is understandable. 3 picks and not accounting for anything on offense, but it'll be interesting to see how well the Eagles do, because beyond the fact that their kicker saved them from overtime, I actually wanted to see how the Eagles competed in overtime, because I wanted to see them tested in another element that they're uncomfortable with, that they've never known, facing against an awakened Giants team. So we'll see how they move forward. The Chargers are a good litmus test, as good as a litmus test as Eagles have faced thus far this season. Your most interesting game of the week?
I'm also going with the Los Angeles team. Rams Cowboys.
Really?
To me, that is the most interesting game of the week, because it's 2 teams, nobody knows what they are. Are the Cowboys good? Are the Cardinals bad? Are the Rams good? Have they just gotten lucky? Because this is not the first time the Rams have started off 2-1.
They were 3-1 last year.
Yeah, and we all know how that turned out.
That was a mustachey muse. Here comes our food, live.
At the tavern.
Thank you.
Bacon cheeseburger with broccoli.
Thank you.
And our wedgie.
Thank you.
Take that.
Yeah, and I'm done with the dip too.
You're done? Okay.
Yeah. Thank
Get out of
you.
here.
Look at the burger.
Anything else I can take out of the way, or are we good for now?
you want to go to a
Done with those
broccoli?
bad boys? Alrighty. Do we need anything?
I think she wants an order of broccoli.
You want some broccoli too? Absolutely. Any other sides that I can get you?
I think we're all good.
All right,
Thank
I'll
you.
get
Thank you. You just got fries? One.
That's course 1.
I love their
Course
fries.
1.
Are they that? Do you season them?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So moving on, I think. So was that all you wanted to say on the Cowboys?
For the Cowboys, the Rams Cowboys, just kind of like as I was wrapping up.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that this is, I think, a good indicator of how good are the Rams and how good are the Cowboys, or are they both kind of flops and this is going to end up being a really ugly game?
Yeah, it's going to see who's fair and who's a facade. So we'll go to least interesting game of the week. For my money, I'm going to definitely put that on Jacksonville, New York Jets. It's kind of obvious, but it's one of those, if it's an interesting game, it's only because the Jets win again, which should not be the case. It's utterly disgraceful that the Dolphins lost against the Jets, and if they somehow find a way to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, it'll be equally disgraceful, if not a hideous blob on the Jacksonville Jaguars playoff resume. You, sir.
I'm also going with a not surprising, least interesting pick of the week. Bengals Browns. There's literally nothing intriguing about that at all. Bengals are awful. They might have found a little bit of a spark They were going up against a good Green Bay team. They were ahead by quite a bit. There's a replay of it going on right now.
Perfect. Here we go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's very hot. Be careful.
And actually, I just wanted lettuce, meat, and cheese, and then I got tomato. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't be sorry.
Shout out to Cindy, our waitress, killing the game. All right.
But it's just a case of the Bengals, even if they have started to find their offense, they're going up against the Browns. It doesn't matter much. And this is also two teams who have yet to win a game this year, so...
You know what? Actually, can I change my pick? Can I already, this early in the season, flip-flop? Yeah, Indianapolis at Seattle. Worst Sunday night matchup this side of Peyton Manning-less Colts against Cowboys or something. They had no, I forget how many years ago that was, but that was the worst game. But Indianapolis at Seattle is a Sunday night game.
To be fair, that one had potential before the season started.
Before the season, now it's just done.
Why?
Well, before the season, Andrew Luck was not hurt. That Indianapolis Colts team as a whole is completely different without Andrew Luck. He is the engine
It's like
to a
playing without
Ferrari.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
Correct. Precisely.
Literally perfect analogy.
Perfect analogy.
Oh.
All right, most significant game of the week there, Luke. I'm going to go with New York Giants at Tampa Bay. Now, somehow, some way, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers found a way to lose to the Sam Bradford-less Vikings. They found a way to lose yet again to a top 10 defense in Jameis Winston's tenure as starting quarterback. And the Giants have a fantastic defense. It's going to be a great way to see if that offense of the New York Giants that's all of a sudden sputtered to life in New York, whether or not they actually can continue on this roll and find some sort of offensive tempo against the stout Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or whether or not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be able to upend their top 10 defensive woes. You, sir, most significant game of the week.
Monday night, Washington Redskins at Kansas City Chiefs. It's a game between two teams that are both competing to stay at the top of their division. The Chiefs could really use this 4-0 because at some point them and the Raiders are going to have to collide. And it's going to be interesting to see who wins that. So they need to pick up as many wins as possible before then. And then the Redskins, it's just the NFC East is kind of a mess. Yeah. So, I mean, you came into this season, I think, pretty much by far and away being the worst team, according to most people.
I should have left you your broccoli. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Thank you so much, Cindy.
You guys?
Good.
Doing fantastic.
So you came into this season with everyone thinking the Redskins would probably be the worst team in the league. But yeah, they're right there in the thick of it. It's still early, but if they can win to Monday night, it'll go a long way.
Yes. There's actually, unfortunately, for this schedule, there's about 3 or 4 interesting games that are just peppered in there, just here and there, just dotted. Not a lot. Last week I thought there were a lot more interesting matchups.
The Broncos game.
The Broncos game is certainly, that's the runner-up. The Broncos Raiders game. That's definitely going to be a divisional impacting game. All right. So here we go, Luke. We've got lock of the week. Who do you want to pick as your lock of the week? Which team's going to win straight up?
Jacksonville, -3.5. I'll even give you the points.
Wow.
I think they win by, I'd say, at least 2 touchdowns.
My lock of the week, team that's definitely going to win, Atlanta, coming off a hot start in the Dome. The Buffalo Bills will not have their home field advantage that they had against the Broncos. They can't keep up offensively. Tyrod Taylor gave them life on Von Miller's stupid penalty decision. And I think that this one will be a blowout. Let's go with the Falcons. All right, now for our final segment in this particular part of the show, who do you want to write off? Is there anybody this week, now that we're done with week 3, that you want to add to the list? So far we have Browns, the Colts, the 49ers, and Jets. They are done. They're officially out of the playoffs. Anybody after week 3 that you want to officially rule out from playoff contention?
Honestly, I don't know. Do we have to agree to rule them out?
I believe so, yes.
then there's three people I think that we
candidates?
should talk. Yeah,
Okay.
the Giants. It's hard. They're my Super Bowl pick for the meme. But 0-3 is starting. It's 0-3, and it hasn't. They gave their best shot and they still lost. So I'm not sure how much I believe in them going forward.
I'm not ready to rule them out yet. I will keep them in that division because after this week, I think next week we'll have certain clarity.
Okay.
So we'll skip the Giants for now. They're on the hot seat.
Bengals. Again, they gave it their all, still couldn't find a win. They're 0-3, and they're in a division that's going to be a little bit tougher than most. They're in a division where they're already 2 wins behind.
Yeah, let's go Bengals. We'll eliminate the Bengals. They are on our list of shame. Forget the Bengals. And then, do you have one more? Because I have one more.
I'm willing to throw the Chargers out now.
I'm with you.
No way in that division, in that conference, you can come back being down 0-3.
Chargers are gone. Unfortunately, the best team this decade with a losing record.
It might be accurate.
It's going to be interesting when Phillip Rivers actually decides to hang up the cleats. He has a very Dan Marino-esque resume, except for the fact that his teams themselves were never really good. He was always thrown in as a top 10 quarterback, even though his teams around him were never fully complementary to his team.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Does Phillip Rivers
Great
even...
name, right.
No, it's not. Does Phillip Rivers even really make it to past next year? Is he the starting quarterback in a year from now? Damn. It's someone's birthday at Red Robin.
Again.
There's another verse.
His dreams are not going to come true. Let's be real.
Wow.
Apparently, for all you listening, Red Robin is the place to be for your birthday needs.
They have bottomless sides.
You can swap the sides too.
Seriously.
We caught that on camera.
That's
We caught that
what?
on tape. Please.
Seriously, what else is better?
It's going to be a new bumper.
Honestly though, Red Robin sponsor us.
Yes, please.
Hashtag yum.
With 3 M's.
But yes,
Okay.
do you think Phillip Rivers is the starter for this team next year? Because honestly,
Wait, this is contract right now.
I don't.
That is the stingiest. That is outside of the Bengals, Mike Brown, I believe, Paul Brown. Outside of him, he's probably the stingiest financial owner
But
in the league.
does Phillip want to come back?
Oh, you're even pondering retirement.
Maybe. They're 0-3, and it's been brutal losses.
Who leaves when they're like losing? Like, oh, I'm at my worst game. This is when I go.
A lot of people.
Really?
Most people do not have that storybook ending of winning.
Cough, cough. Peyton Manning. He went out with the Super
I was
Bowl,
gonna say he won.
but he was trash.
It was,
Really?
It was
Yeah.
a technical win. He won on points.
It was more Von Miller won for him.
They still won though.
Yes, he
Oh,
did.
absolutely.
Yes. In a beautiful fashion, God bless that man, riding off into the sunset. And that means that
In
we
his
will...
Bronco.
And his Bronco. Yes, she's been paying attention.
Ruby's been coming in clutch this podcast.
Yes, she has. She's like our producer that we don't have.
I'm 3-0 in fantasy.
That's true.
Are you?
You're 0-3.
I'm on 3.
That's worse.
It's both sides of the coin.
I'm the better side.
Wait, that's the factiest fact of the podcast this far. 3-0 is worse than 0-3, or is better than 0-3.
That is
How are we
facts.
doing?
Good.
Doing great.
Awesome. You're doing great. You haven't even touched your burger.
I haven't, but I will as soon as we go to Give Me 5
Can I
right
get more
now.
broccoli?
So we ordered the moose pie.
It's not moose. Why are you saying
Mud
moose?
pie.
Because Mussolini enjoyed this pie himself.
Are you a Nazi?
Mussolini's not a Nazi. Mussolini's Italian, isn't he?
He was the fascist Italian leader who sided with the Nazis.
But he's not a Nazi himself. He's Italian.
What? Those aren't mutually exclusive things, Philip.
You can't be a Nazi if you're Italian.
No, you can.
Oh my god.
All right, here we go. Anyways, This is Give Me 5, the part of the show where I've got 5 questions for Luke, he's got 5 questions for me. We don't know what they are, but we will answer them honestly. We are also joined by Ruby today. She will be piping in with her opinions and comments every so often, which so far has been killing the game. So here we go. Luke, actually Ruby, who gets to go first?
What?
Ruby, who goes first?
Luke.
Luke, alright, go ahead, Luke.
Okay, well, I'm going to start us off with a game. And the name of...
By the way, breaking news here.
Khloe Kardashian is pregnant.
You want to guess by who? Tristan
Thompson.
There's sports
He
news
has
for
a
you.
shirt that says this guy loves Tristan Thompson.
Why do you love Tristan Thompson?
It's an inside joke.
I don't know.
So we had a fantasy mock draft for the NBA. This is like completely off the rail. And this girl who like loves the Cavaliers, she had the number 1 overall pick. She chose Tristan Thompson.
That's almost as bad as picking Carson Palmer.
But the overall number 1 pick, I don't even need to tell you what year that was. That's just I mean, it's not that that's a bad pick. That's not that that's like...
No, that's a bad pick.
No, where it is, yes. It's not like, you know, if you get him in the 3rd round or something, okay. But anyway, so that's why it's a funny joke. All right, go ahead, Luke.
Anyways, we're going to start off with a game.
Fantastic. All right, Ruby.
And this game is called Animal Facts.
Animal facts.
I've got 3 sets of 3 animal facts, which I will read off to you.
Okay.
1 of them will be real. 2 of them will be fake. Your guys' job is to find out which one is the real one.
Okay.
Are you ready to play?
Ready, Freddy?
Okay, first set. Each set is about one type of animal.
Thank you guys.
So for example, set number 1 is about sharks.
Let's go.
Fact number 1.
Leave them in the tank.
Sharks have outstanding hearing and can hear fish thrashing around from 500 meters away. Fact number 2. Great white sharks can swim up to 60 kilometers an hour while chasing their prey. And fact number 3, sharks only have 3 bones in their body.
Ooh.
Which one is the real fact?
Ooh.
60 kilometers is too fast.
Which one you going with, Ruby? I think I've narrowed mine down. I'm gonna
That's
go.
the fish. Waiting in the water, they can feel it.
No, this is hearing.
Hear it.
Yeah.
They can hear it.
So that's the real fact for
I
you?
think so.
I'm gonna go with the swimming 60 kilometers.
Okay. Ruby, you are correct.
Of course I am.
Sharks can hear fish thrashing around in water from 500 meters away. If I'm remembering the fun fact correctly, great whites cap out at, I want to say it was 30 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
And sharks have no bones in their body whatsoever.
That one I
Yeah,
knew
60
was
kilometers is incredible.
fishy.
That's
So, first of all, I will not acknowledge your pun.
good.
Second
you.
of all, our second group of fun facts is about wolves.
love it.
Fact number 1. Wolves can start hunting within 2 months of being born.
Okay.
Fact number 2. Wolves can run up to 60 kilometers per hour. Fact number 3. Arctic wolves are weaker than forest wolves.
I don't think they're weaker. I think they're stronger. Oh wait, so it's the one shirt. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with forest
The first
wolves.
one.
So you're gonna go with they can hunt within
2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with the forest wolves are weaker.
No, that's not what I said.
He said the Arctic wolves are
I'm
stronger.
sorry, forest wolves.
No, I
wolves.
said
Weaker.
Arctic wolves are weaker.
Yeah, I'm that one. That's
So you think forest wolves are stronger?
Yes.
And you think they can hunt within 2 months?
Yeah.
You are both incorrect.
They are the ones that can go 60 miles.
They can run 60 kilometers an hour
They're majestic.
while they're chasing. It said that like just kind of roaming around, they
Yeah,
can go
just trot.
like 13 to 15 kilometers an hour, and in one night,
hour.
no, yes,
Mountain climb much hike?
Yep. Oh, here we go. Here's dessert. Here's dessert. Wow.
Oh god.
I severely underestimated the mile.
thank
Just
you.
like in high school.
Yeah, we just see
Shout out to Kane Wilson.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. For everybody who's listening to all this clanging and clattering, that's the Mountain High Mud Pie.
I don't know how we want to put this.
We'll figure it out on the fly. All right. And so, next one there, Luke.
Okay. And Arctic wolves are, in fact, stronger than forest wolves.
by far.
8 months before wolves can hunt by themselves.
I just felt like they're so badass they can just do whatever.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair logic.
See if I can just slide down.
Okay.
That's all.
Our last set of fun facts is about gorillas.
Ooh, gorilla.
Fun fact number 1. Gorillas can live between 40 and 50 years on average. Fact number 2. Gorillas are omnivores, which means they eat both meat and veggies. And fact number 3. Gorillas have been in some form of zoo for roughly 2,000 years.
I'm Ruby.
Why do I have to go first?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
No, you go first. 'Cause I have no idea.
What are you trying to insinuate? I'm going to go with omnivores. That's
Okay.
the real fact.
I think it's the zoo. 2,000 years.
That would be the year 17.
All right, let's go.
Took her a little while to confirm that that fact.
I said some form of zoo.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously, it's not like the Phoenix Zoo.
And they're barely scrounging up irrigation, and yet somehow it's like, come on down.
It's ridiculous, but at the same time, it's not all that ridiculous.
All right, which one is it, Luke?
Oh, so that is your final
Wait, what's
answer?
the first one?
Gorillas can live, on average, between 40 and 50 years.
That one.
You going with that one?
Yeah.
And you're going with the omnivore one, right?
That is correct.
Ruby has won this game
By a landslide.
2-1.
Ooh.
Actually, no, wait. 2-0. I don't think you got any of them right, did you?
Right? Oh, no,
No.
you missed one. Yeah, I did. I missed all of them.
Gorillas can live between 40 and 50 years on average, or do live. Gorillas are herbivores only, and the zoo one I just completely made up.
Yeah, thank you, Tarzan.
Yeah. I'll be
teaching
honest
me
with you. I would have sniffed that one out had I not been sniffing this moose pie. All right.
It's not moose pie. Stop
All right.
calling it that.
Luke.
It's like
and
ice
Ruby.
cream.
I see you guys tweeting about these
Different
days.
types of ice cream.
So, I wonder what else you would say with an extra 140 characters. Twitter has announced that they are currently testing users being able to tweet with 280 characters instead of the standard 140. Luke and Ruby, is this a good idea or bad idea?
I love it.
And what percentage of people replying to themselves will this cut down on?
I love it.
Ruby loves it.
think
I
Ruby
love
loves it.
Twitter.
She loves Twitter.
I live for Twitter.
You don't think it's gonna hit on the nuance
Are
of
you
Twitter?
kidding? There's so much drama on Twitter that if people weren't limited to 140 characters, the stories would be easier to follow.
At what point
It's true.
At what point does it become Facebook though?
Well, they.
Not at 240 characters.
280.
Yeah. That's
Not
fine.
280
I feel
characters.
like that's a happy medium.
It's literally
I mean-
just being able to do 2 tweets in one.
Okay.
And people on Facebook go on rants all the time about stupid nonsense.
And here's the thing. People are already going on rants on Twitter. The difference is now I got to go through 10 tweets to figure out what they're saying. This time, now it'd only be like 5.
But Twitter drama is so much more interesting.
Twitter
than
drama is
Facebook
the best drama.
Oh my god. Where'd you find it?
Can you imagine how many insults LeBron could throw at President Trump besides
He
just
said-
you bum?
He said you bum. And because he only had 140 characters, he used the letter U.
Yeah.
Instead of
Well, I think he was going to use the letter U no matter what.
Okay. But
That's
But yeah, I'm
that's
100
colloquialism for you.
I'm 100% okay with them. I want them to.
Yeah, they're testing it out, giving it only to a few members right now. I'm sure
I
it's
wish
going to
I
be
was
like
one of those members.
I don't even necessarily need 280.
Just a little bit more.
I just need a tiny bit more.
Yeah, I find that when I have like a fire tweet, I'm negative six or 7 characters.
Okay. Good to know. Your turn, Luke. He was
mouthful.
enjoying. Yes, he was
It
enjoying
was
the
really good.
Okay. We
Don't drop
briefly, I think we mentioned it over the podcast. It might have been just outside of the podcast. But over this past weekend, on Sunday, Von Miller was called for a personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know what I'm referring to, What happened was Von Miller had knocked down Buffalo Bills quarterback Tyrod Taylor onto the ground because, Von Miller's a beast.
Von Miller does. Swagalicious.
And as he was getting up, he pretended to give out his hand to Tyrod in order to help him up. As Tyrod reached for it, Von Miller playfully, I want to emphasize playfully, slapped it away. Tyrod got up on his own. They looked at each other. They literally laughed. You could see it on the broadcast. And as they are laughing at each other, a ref threw a flag and gave him a 15-yard penalty.
Was that the three? Wow. No, that was the Richard Sherman one. That was 3 penalties.
That's my next part. At one point in the Titans-Seahawks game, Richard Sherman got called for defensive holding, defensive pass interference, and he got a unsportsmanlike, I think is technically what it was called. All on the same play.
I remember the replay, and I just wanted to bad lip read and just say, how? How? He just kept going, how?
And then he proceeded to continue to argue with the ref vehemently to the point where he was almost ejected from the game. To the point where if he was in baseball or basketball, he would have been ejected from the game.
Why wasn't he ejected?
Because NFL...
He's such a star player.
Not even that, just NFL refs, out of all of the refs, are the most lenient by far.
Well,
They'll usually talk to you and give you an explanation.
Good.
Doing pretty good.
Good. Oh, you got the cake?
Oh, yeah.
How is it?
It's delicious.
Isn't it the best thing you've ever had in your life?
Yeah.
The first time I seen that go out, and it's because it's huge.
Yeah.
I was like, I need that in my life every day.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's amazing. Do you want some more water? I'll grab you some more.
Can I get a water too?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Thank you so much, Cindy. Shout out to Cindy, our waitress. All right, continue.
But my question, which is kind of what we just addressed, is do you wish that one, NFL refs were to call things a little bit more evenly, let them have some fun because it's a game? Or do you wish that they would be a little bit more strict like they are in the NBA and MLB? So that people like Richard Sherman can't get away with a lot of the stuff he did.
Well, I mean, let's even go to the next one of Odell Beckham Jr. pretending to be a dog and peeing on the goalpost.
Yeah, I don't really understand what that was even supposed to be.
Yeah, so,
Also, real quick, shout out to Ruby who said, I'm going to eat 1/10 of a bite, and then proceeded to eat probably 40% of this cake.
40%?
Real close.
Yeah, right.
that was a weak yeah right in Ruby.
No,
All right,
it was better than I thought.
You know what, the problem is that with a lesser schedule comes increased duty for a referee to know that you don't want a game being decided by a referee in any game, but especially meaningful games such as the NFL where there's only 16 and such a limited volume. I tend to lean more towards expression and more towards, I don't really care about think of the children. I mean, to me, it's if
Were you about to say who cares about the children?
I wasn't about to say who cares about the children. I'm just saying who cares if that's a you problem. If you're having kids and you're going to have a problem with anything, then why are you opening themselves up to it? Or it's not my problem that you can't explain to your kids what's going on or help them manage through life about seeing somebody fully clothed peeing on a goalpost. So I'm gonna lean towards I'm less for player ejections outside of interference with the fans, interference with the refs. I don't think you should ever touch a ref, and really things out of bounds. Once the whistle's done, the play's over. That's kind of my so yeah. Today, everybody, is National Pancake Day, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is pancake or waffle trivia. So it is up to both of you to determine if the following 5 facts are a waffle or a pancake fact. Are you guys ready?
I was born ready, Phil.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Fact number 1. It is common in France to touch the handle of the frying pan and to make a wish while the blank is turned, holding a coin in one hand. Is that a pancake or a waffle?
I'm gonna go pancake.
And that is completely a waffle. Luke's on the board. All right, now.
I said
that is-
waffle.
Wow.
Right, but it's a pancake fact.
You just said
You
waffle
said
fact.
waffle.
And I meant pancake.
Wow.
Wow.
Trash.
Talk about the ultimate reversal.
Trash announcer. I'll take it though.
This is trash.
All right, next fact. The first blank recipe appeared in an English cookbook in the 15th century. Is that a pancake or waffle?
Waffle.
Pancake.
That is a pancake.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Waffles are Belgium.
There we go.
I don't even know if that's 100%
It is
accurate.
using
Just kind of threw that out there.
the old noggin. All right, next fact.
We're on the third one.
We're on the third one.
I'm 2-0.
Yes, you are. Celebrity chef Aldo Zilli in 2005 set the world record for the highest blank toss at 329 centimeters. Is that pancake or waffle?
Waffle.
Pancake.
Diametrically opposed. Here we go. Pancake for the third time.
Why are they all pancakes?
You can't-
Pancakes suck.
First of all, false. Second of all, you don't cook waffles in a frying pan. Cook them in a waffle maker, so that explains the first one. Second one, Belgium
Pancakes
waffles.
suck.
And third one, you don't flip waffles. You flip pancakes.
Maybe in
Like-
Belgium you flip
Pancakes are stupid.
Okay, now I'm just feeling personally attacked right now.
Fact number 4.
What are you, a pancake?
Fact number
little
4. The word blank first appears in the English language in 1725. Is that pancake or waffle?
Waffle.
Waffle.
That is waffle. Ruby's on the board, and Luke continues his
4-0.
domination. There we go. Last one. Patrick Bertoletti ate 29 blanks in 10 minutes in 2007, beating fellow eating champion Joey Chestnut in the World Blank Eating Championships. Is that pancakes or waffles?
See, this is hard.
This is the hardest one.
I've already clinched a victory, so I'm not
Waffle.
worried about that.
Waffle.
You're just worried about.
But I could be
securing
5-0.
Right.
5-0. You've already done 3 pancakes, but you're also the kind of guy to only do 1 waffle fact.
I am that kind of guy.
And I'm trying to remember.
Don't be sleazy.
Sleazy. Me or him?
She doesn't like sleaze in any way, shape, or form.
Waffle.
I think
So Ruby's sticking both her guns on waffle. Are you waffling yourself?
Waffles are superior.
first of all, that's incorrect. I'm gonna go pancake.
It's gonna go pancake.
But I'm not 100% confident.
Luke, your first loss and Ruby's second win.
Waffles are superior.
Well, no, it's not a loss. It's just a wrong one. I still won.
I said your first loss.
No, but see, it's not a loss.
Right. It's just the first.
He does not know how to talk tonight.
I know.
Tonight is not my night. Goes to you, Luke.
Okay, so my third question. We briefly discussed this. Wow.
That's gonna make the cut. I'm so sorry, Luke. Next question.
We briefly discussed this in terms of Philip Rivers earlier in this podcast. And
Great name, by the way.
but what made me think of this was there were a lot of comparisons being thrown around last night on the old Twitter machine between who everyone thought was the second best wide receiver of all time. Because clearly Jerry Rice is number 1. But after seeing old man Fitz put up an amazing night like he did, people started arguing who would you rather have? Who was better, Moss or Fitz? And my question, because currently Moss I think is like second and third in almost every single category.
Right.
Him and T.O. are kind of interchange, I believe.
Wow.
My question to you is how important are stats to you in terms of greatness? Or do you do a lot more eye test and like to bring other variables in?
I'm gonna go. I think I'm more eye test because really a lot of the times, like Michael Irvin, stats do not do him justice for the impact he had on those Cowboys in that Super Bowl, those Super Bowls. I'm sorry. And really, Fitzgerald, as great as Moss is, he just had highlight seasons for me. He was great in other years, but the productivity and the production that you can just get standard from Fitzgerald year in, year out, game in, game out, it's almost unparalleled. He's just the standard. And, I hadn't really thought about it until you brought it up, but I could see a case being made for him being second overall. I don't know that I would do it, but I could see the case being made.
I would.
You would?
I would.
You fall on that side of the can?
Mostly just the whole. Yes, and it's been brought up when I've mentioned this before, but some of Randy Moss's best seasons, the 23 touchdown one, he had literally the greatest of all time quarterback throwing to him.
That was vintage Brady.
Yeah. Whereas Fitzgerald has had Max Hall, Sean King, Ryan Lindley.
Oh, Kevin Cobb.
He's had a lot of garbage.
Yes.
Straight up garbage. His two best quarterbacks were an old Kurt Warner and an old Carson Palmer.
All right. Speaking of the Eagles earlier in this episode, how badly did Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz want to beat the Giants on Sunday? Enough that he was willing to lose an entire paycheck. Wentz was wearing a wire, or mic'd up as they call it in the industry, in Week 3, which no doubt produced some interesting sound bites. However, it will be hard to top the signal caller's conversation leading to Eagles kicker Jake Elliott's game-winning 61-yard field goal as time expired, which was epic, by the way. Let's just say Wentz was a little poor when the clock hit 0. Quote, "This guy's a superhero if he makes it," Wentz said. "I'm freaking out. I'm freaking giving him my game check. I'll give him my game check if he makes it." Since we all saw the story ends, he makes it, yells, goes on the field. Luke Wright, does Carson owe Elliott this game check worth over $97,000, or does he have some wiggle room to back out of it? Granted, this was on. We now have we have video recording and audio.
I don't care.
You know,
He has 15 other game checks. He gets a signing bonus.
and he has a lot of money to be made. He's a
I'm
franchise
sure
player.
he's going to get a huge contract. He's got plenty of sponsorships and whatnot.
Some boxes, guys.
I think we'll get one box, please.
One box.
Thank you very much.
So just in general, I don't care. If he wants to give him the check, cool. That kicker, I guarantee you, is not making nearly as
around
much money.
$430,000 on rookie salary.
So I mean, you're looking at
That's about a fourth of his year income.
Yeah. So I mean, it'd be cool if you did it, but I'm not gonna hold you to it. So
Your turn, Luke.
okay. So
Thank you very much.
as someone who has grown up with a very ununique name in Luke, I get to hear a lot of the same jokes. May the force be with you. I'm your father. You know, gets old after 22 years of it.
Hopefully a couple more.
And then I know you, being named Philip, must just hate your name. So my question to you, if you could change your name, if you had to change your name, what would you change it to?
Easy.
Ruby is a pretty cool name, so I'd understand if you don't want to change it.
Easy. Alexander. I love it. It's long, it's eloquent,
Even I
and
knew
it
that one.
and it belies wisdom and strength.
I'm not sure about wisdom and strength part,
Wisdom
but the other things I can see.
and strength. And plus, I've always wanted a long name to cut down. If I wanted to go with Alex, I could. Whatever.
I like my short name. I don't know. I've thought about it, but I don't know. I'm okay with the way it is.
Okay.
I would change my name to what I'm going to name my son if I have one. Wolfgang.
See, and I thought about it. If I have a daughter, I want to name her Zolabel.
It's cool.
But I don't know if I would change my name to Zolabel.
I would if I had to, but I don't want to go through that legal process.
Oh yeah, getting a new social security
Yeah.
card and a birth.
That is
So yeah, I'll stick with Luke. But if I ever have a son, I don't care if I have to, make sure my wife gets an epidural so she doesn't know what's happening, and then just sign Wolfgang.
I knew a kid whose name was Wolfgang.
Yeah, 'cause
they called him Wolf.
It's an awesome name.
It was cool.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool.
It's a famous name.
I think by default he was cool though because of his name. So.
Hey,
We're being joined by David Sampson, coming late to the party. Anyways, all right, so I showed you guys, and for anybody listening, there's a little context. You can look up Justin Upton, Angels home run. And I showed you both this for context. I want to say this right, Frazzy Paint, which is now owned by Sherwin-Williams, had a clever idea back in 2014 of how to look like a friend of philanthropy. Frazzy placed a giant mock-up of a paint can in Angel Stadium just beyond the left center field fence, along with a sign indicating it would contribute $1 million to the Angels Baseball Foundation anytime an Angels batter parked a home run ball in the can. Well, left fielder Justin Upton did just that last Tuesday in the 9th inning. That's when it transpired that there was a catch all along.
Are we doing cash? Sorry.
No,
Cash or card today, guys?
we're going to be doing cash.
Cash. Alrighty, I'm going to print you up a ticket because I'm getting kicked out.
Okay, sounds
so
good.
I'm going to print you out a ticket for you, alright?
Thank you very much.
We're all together? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're paying that for cash.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. All right, the ball, she's no longer rocking out anymore. But the ball had to enter the can, but yeah, so now it was introduced that there was a catch all along. That the ball had to enter the can on the fly. Upton's homer ball bounced at least once before caroming into the can, so no contribution. I will read word for word what is on the can. Angels home run in the can, $1 million. My question to you guys, does Sherwin-Williams have a point for opting to not pay the $1 million?
No.
No. And
That's terrible.
Yes.
Get out.
I don't know what.
No, that's terrible.
I was just kidding.
like they've now lost $1 million just in bad PR for this.
I'm trying to find a way to spin this.
And I can
but
understand
really,
if it was like Frazzy Paint or whatever and it didn't have $1 million to donate, but Sherwin-Williams has $1 million to donate.
what I'm going to guess is the culprit here is that they got this insured for $1 million that in the case, because they always do with these promotions. They have it insured just in case it does happen, and the insurance is declining to pay for it off of that technicality, so they in turn are declining to pay for it.
Just take the loss, man.
That's
like
it's such a bad look. It's not like it's going directly to Justin Upton. It
No.
meets all the requirements.
It's going to a charity.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how you can be the bad guy there. Or how you're okay with being the bad guy. And, oh, you know what? I'm not going to give money to charity when I clearly can't.
It's a bad look for Sherwin-Williams, who we otherwise would not have mentioned, but now has bad PR and just a really bad face now. All right, goes to you, Luke.
so. In light of a few surprising teams this year, such as the Los Angeles Rams being number one in the NFC West, my question to you, Philip, is this: in your 20-something years of life on this earth, out of all of the teams you've watched across all of the sports, across all of the seasons,
Here we go. Oh, did I bring box? Oh yeah. Okay, there's
Thank
the
you.
ticket. And do we want some? I got a bottle for you. Drinks and to-go cups.
Can I get it to go?
Yes.
Me
Do you
too,
want one of those
please.
To go? Do you
Thank
want something to go?
No, I'm just good with the water.
Sure. Want water to go?
no, I'm good, thank you. My question to you is: what team have you watched was the most surprising to you, and why?
I know it's going to seem so cliche, but honestly, that Super Bowl 50 Broncos team, there was never a point in that season that I thought they were actually going to win the Super Bowl. As they advanced through each step, my fandom didn't waver. I had the asterisk
Kinda
in my
sounds
mind.
like it wavered.
In my mind, I was knowing that I was enjoying this role for how long it was going to last, knowing that it was going to not end up in a Super Bowl win.
I put money on the Broncos because I knew they would win.
I didn't think that they were going to make it into the playoffs as soon as Peyton Manning didn't get to be good. Once they made the playoffs, I didn't think that they were going to clinch home field advantage. I didn't think that they were going to beat the
You
Steelers.
have to believe.
Seriously.
All the facts did not roll up to me to amount to a Super Bowl victory.
Well, this is the first time in a while the Broncos have won the Super Bowl, and it was because he didn't believe. So maybe you should just keep on not believing, and maybe they'll win again.
It's true.
Amen.
Stop believing, Philip.
Amen.
Yeah, don't. The lesson here.
Please stop believing.
Don't
It's-
believe.
Please stop believing.
But yeah, so I'm going to go with them, even though I know it sounds kind of modern and cliche. I'm sure somebody else will catch me on the fly with something else. Okay, everybody, because we all watched, or actually I don't think you watched the Floyd fight, did you? Okay, but we're talking to Luke, but everybody else, I think that everybody will understand. Whether it's the ultimate troll or a more classy jester to immortalize his clash with Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has taken to Twitter to showcase a humongous portrait of his Irish combatant who he TKO'd in the 10th round of their mega fight. Featured prominently in his new $26 million home in Beverly Hills, the painting frames a doorway where his own likeness is on the opposite side. The work was created by artist Tiffany Anderson, who utilized broken glass to create the finished products. Luke Wright, which quote-unquote enemy of yours would you immortalize via portrait in your own house if I made you hang one up?
You made me hang one
Yes,
up.
you have to hang up an enemy portrait in your house, like at least body length.
At least body length?
At least body length.
Any other plates I can get out of the way so they're not in your face? Just sticking your elbows in it and stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Finished with
Sammy.
your plate behind you, or are you still munching on that?
I'm still working on it.
All right.
Thank you.
Would Hitler be a bad answer?
It would be an awful answer.
I mean, he's not my personal enemy.
I have a. Never mind.
See, I don't have very many enemies.
Yeah, see, I'm not.
I don't have enemies. I have people I don't like.
Yeah, but I don't consider them enemies.
Oh, I don't know how much Floyd Mayweather
Like, maybe a
considers
nemesis?
Conor McGregor an enemy. Okay, however you want to interpret that question.
Probably Philip.
Rivers?
No.
Just me?
Yeah.
That's a great choice.
I'd probably pick the same thing.
Yeah.
Man, this is fantastic.
You know, I'd get a portrait of myself.
You're
Just
your
because-
own worst enemy?
Yeah, because you always
song.
fight in the battle
Because
with
you're
yourself.
conceited. Yeah.
No, it's the struggle within yourself. Because the only person that's stopping you is yourself.
You're just trying
Because
to add
you're
a deeper
conceited.
meaning to what is a selfie landscape within your mind. I always thought I would love to have a toilet with the seat cover of the Chargers. They're always at the ceiling, the bottom, bottom
Yeah,
attic.
he said
Yeah.
that we were going to do that to our house, and I said no.
It's happening. All right, so that was the last one, right, for you, Luke?
Yeah.
All right, that was the last one for me. Next week we will be back in studio, so no more on location. Yeah, quote unquote studio. So this was I would love to say that this was fun, but it was more expensive, filled with burps and laughs and good times, and a little bit of David Sampson selfies in there.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. All right, for.
What?
When I point to you, you say your name. That's kind of what we do in the biz.
My name?
Yeah.
Ruby.
I'm not
Ruby.
for Ruby.
Luke.
And I'm David Sampson. Follow me on Instagram at Savid_Damson. Also Twitter and Samsonator on Snapchat. And add me on Facebook. David Sampson. No P. Just
Nobody wants to be your friend, David.
There you go.
Darn this finger. I forgot the power that it had. And Philip Amrine, thank you so much for listening to Chopped Greens. As always, you can listen to all of our archived episodes as well as current episodes on YouTube. And as always, bye.
Toodle.